This is the Son of the Law podcast. Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to the Son of the Law podcast. I'm your host, Jay Christopher. Joining me in my home tonight are Nelson and Amy Canning. What's up, y'all?
Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy.
My voice just cracked like a 15-year-old. This is going well.
You got to start off right.
Get that one out.
And joining also is my lovely wife, Carissa. Hello, my love.
Hello.
Welcome to everyone, to all of you. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors, Complete Auto Service in Richmond, Cutting Edge Landscapes in Lawson, and the Lawson Review. This episode is brought to you by Complete Auto Service Center. If you've ever gone with the cheapest auto repair only to deal with the same problem again, you already know cheap isn't value. At Complete Auto Service Center, value means fixing it right the first time. Every visit includes a full inspection by experienced, certified technicians, plus a clear report that shows what's good, what needs attention right now, and what can wait. That means fewer surprises, smarter decisions, and a vehicle you can actually trust. And they don't waste your time. Your vehicle is inspected the same day, and they contact you quickly so you're never left wondering what's going on or what comes next. I've known Mark and Amanda for years. They've built a shop that treats customers like family, and family that stands behind their work with quality parts and a 36-month, 36,000-mile warranty. So before that small issue turns into a big repair, make Complete Auto Service Center your first call. Visit CompleteASC.com or stop by 718 Woolard Boulevard in Richmond. Complete Auto Service Center. Complete maintenance, complete repairs, complete peace of mind. Also, thank you for supporting the show. I say it every time an episode drops. You are why we do this and what it's all about. Message us for merch on Instagram at Son of the Law Podcast, or send me a good old-fashioned Gmail, sonofthelaw.podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, 3 styles of Richardson hats, ultra soft tees, small to XXX, and share the show across all platforms. I want to encourage people to follow the show, turn those notifications on, and be ready for the next episode. We drop every other Monday at 6 a.m. So that drive to work or never miss a Monday workout can be extra special.
Nice.
All right, we got that out of the way. Let's introduce Nelson and Amy Canning. How do I introduce you two? I feel like we're old friends, but you and my wife, Nelson and my wife are probably actually old friends. Went to
Now
high
we're
school.
getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly.
Old. Friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Sorry.
actually old and friends.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
fair.
That was starting off good again.
Y'all went to high school together. Oh, we'll get to that awkward conversation. You know what's coming. Okay. Yeah. He's like, yeah, here we go. Okay. Let's start with why you're here. You are a dentist, but that's not what we're going to talk about. You
Sweet.
are at some point, the invitation's out there, though, and I think it would be fun to have you back and talk about the world of dentistry. I once heard that some people are more afraid of going to the dentist than they are of dying.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, they're
Probably true. I mean, I didn't know how hated I really was until I became a dentist. Like, I know. I thought I was a quasi-likable guy, but like,
no, here we go.
people don't like the dentist, and
Right?
I get it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I get it.
It's a painful experience unless you're like the perfect patient who actually flosses, and most people don't. And I'm sure you have lots of stories, but we'll have to save those for another time.
I'm married to him, and I don't like going to the dentist.
Yeah,
So
So Canning Dental owners, but the purpose and inspiration for the episode today is that you are also the curators of Matrimony Everyday Marriage Conference. I later discovered that after going to this conference that you were actually the organizers of the conference and all of the accoutrement associated with it. So there's a lot here to
but not
unpack.
the founders.
No, not at all.
I do want to make a note of that. So,
Yeah. Let's get into that. Before we do, just get to know you more a little bit. Here's what I know. You're a Lawson boy and a Florida girl, which I've now It was a question mark, and now it's Pensacola area.
Confirmed. It's confirmed.
You, Nelson, went to high school with my lovely wife, and you are a power couple.
Oh, says who?
Well, I do.
We'll take it, but yeah,
This is
thanks.
what we
I
talked
like that.
about.
We've made
You know,
it.
We've made it.
you know when you meet those people, and this is a compliment. You have a style and like a swagger about you that is very impressive. It's like those people have it all together, and I wish
False.
Oh, false. Yeah, no, no.
Wrong.
wish.
Not true.
Yes.
I wish I could do it too. But you make everything look good and polished.
Thank you. But
Come
if
to
you
our
knew
house.
what was behind the curtain.
Yeah, no.
Well,
But
maybe
keep going. This is
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Just
maybe
let's go.
Maybe that's why we'll talk about marriage with you, because you know on the outside things can look amazing, and behind the scenes are probably amazing too, but not messy is amazing too. Right?
Sure.
And so there's a lot of ways we can approach these things. This episode is brought to you by Cutting Edge Landscapes in Lawson, Missouri. Spring is almost here, and if you're ready for a lawn that actually turns heads this year, now's the time to call Cutting Edge Landscapes. I've trusted them with my own yard, and I can tell you firsthand, the results speak for themselves. Thicker grass, richer color, a lawn that looks professionally cared for because it is. Right now, they're offering a limited time early bird special. When you sign up for all 5 rounds of their professional lawn treatment program, you'll get 50% off aeration or 1 full application absolutely free. It's your choice. And they don't just do lawn treatments. Cutting Edge Landscapes handles everything. Custom landscaping, beautiful hardscapes, sprinkler systems, all completed by licensed professionals who take pride in every detail. With over 40 years serving our community, they've built a reputation for quality work and fair pricing that you can trust. Spring schedules fill up fast, so don't wait. Call Kent and Brandon today, 816-580-3343, or visit callcuttingedge.com. Cutting Edge Landscapes. Your lawn will thank you. Amy, you're a hugger, warm, inviting. Although I've since, I think, being corrected, you struck me initially as an extroverted introvert, and Nelson vice versa. And I think I have you flopped. Yes?
Definitely.
So Nelson, you're more of an introvert and extroverted when you need to be.
Yep.
And Amy's like,
I'm full on
extrovert.
extrovert. Yes.
So an experience like this will able to, you're going to sleep great tonight, probably. Yeah?
Totally.
Yeah. I'm wiped.
in the confines of this small room
Yeah.
with just 3 other people where I'm like, where are the people?
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by the Lawson Review. Since April 8th, 1881, one thing has never stopped in Lawson, Missouri, the local newspaper. From the very first printing of the Lawson Gazette to today's Lawson Review, this is the county's oldest newspaper with uninterrupted publication. Generations have lived it, written it, and read it week after week. The Lawson Review isn't just news. It's school events, local sports, city decisions, community voices, and the stories that may not make the big city headlines, but matter most right here at home. A subscription is just $29 for 1 year or $51 for 2 years. It's an affordable way to support local journalism and stay connected to your community. Contact the Lawson Review at lawsonreview@gmail.com. Visit at 405 North Pennsylvania, Lawson, Missouri, or call 816-296-3412. The Lawson Review, your hometown paper, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Nelson, you are an excellent communicator.
Thanks.
I have met you and immediately knew how to use your words. And also, here's something I appreciate. You lean into the uncomfortable. And what I mean by that, you're willing to address an elephant in the room from sometimes many years ago. In this case, 21.5 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
give you
do. I can't shake it.
I'm sorry.
I give you the opportunity to share this story personally and save yourself what I might say.
So I know we're going to get into marriage, and I'm not a blame shifter, but when you're around Amy, she's a hugger. She touches people in a good way. Like she just a friendly person. And like when we first got married, I was like, I can do that. Well, now let's segue into Carissa. I was working at Jewel. This is so hard for everybody to hear.
Well, I told the story last time, so I'm anxious to hear what you say.
Well, I don't know how. So I work at Jewel. I don't remember how long I was there. I was probably new on it. Hadn't seen you in
Since high school.
Since high school. So this is probably 21
It would have been
some years ago.
2004.
Can't do the math. Yeah, 2004. And I see Carissa around with a group of women, and they kind of in a circle, from my memory, in a circle, and Carissa's there. I'm like, Carissa, how are you? And you had a little bump on your belly, and I was like, oh, when's it due? And I touched your belly, and it was not what I expected. It was soft. And I'm so sorry.
Abort.
Oh my gosh. I'm not a smart man and things don't go quickly, but something's like that wasn't right. And this is about to get awkward. And you were so kind. And all I remember you doing.
I'm glad you remember me as being kind.
Oh, you were. There was a lot of blurring going on in couldn't see straight, and I felt like everything was red. But yeah, I'm like, okay. You were like, well, you probably said she, but you were like, it's right there, and it was in a pumpkin seat. And I'm like, oh, that's not okay.
Yeah, most people don't know that when you leave the hospital after having a baby, you leave the hospital 5 months pregnant. Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's where you caught her,
Especially
right
if
there
you're
in the.
short.
I didn't know that at all. I quickly learned,
You must
and you
have
had
tall women in your life.
Yeah, no, nope, didn't no. So, you've saved me from a lot of awkward things from here on out. I've said before, unless it's crowning, I'm not asking. Nope. Even if it's part of our medical history, I'm like, please someone tell me if she's pregnant or not.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading it, but please someone tell me because I don't want to know. So
Well,
anyway,
I thought that was so bold when we met, and that was like the first thing you came out. You're like, I got to deal with this, and like just right headlong into it. Like, I'm so sorry. 20-some years ago, I said this, and you did this. And it's like,
I don't think we've spoken since. And you were like, do you know what I'm going to say? And I was like, I think I know what you're going to say.
like hi.
yeah, no, that's been part of our relationship, even though we haven't seen each other in a long time. That was.
He was nervous because even then when we found out you guys were coming, he's like, you know who that is, don't you? And I'm like, I have no idea. And he's like, oh, this is, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
So,
This
just
is
like you're on your own.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, also fantastic is this is a fun fact. This is a date night for you.
Yeah.
Totally. And so Carissa's here, double date. We get to have a wonderful conversation about marriage and your guys and your history and whatnot. And so anyway, I'm just so grateful and thankful for you.
We're glad to be here.
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Can you take a few minutes and introduce yourselves respectively? Maybe where you were born and raised, talk a little bit about your families, how people in the area might know you, ties to Lawson, small town living, and then maybe some thing people wouldn't know about you or be surprised to discover.
Go ahead, girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to lead that. Well, Amy Canning, and I grew up in Pensacola, Florida, and had a wonderful childhood, wonderful family. My parents were, wonderful, well, I don't know.
Well adjusted?
Yes,
Yeah.
well adjusted.
Yeah. Are you a middle born?
I am a middle.
You strike me as a
Yes.
middle born.
Wow, you were
Yes,
good.
I am a
I
middle.
don't know. I just
He's
call
also a
us-
middleborn.
Yes.
Oh.
Takes one to know one.
Knows
Yes, yes. So anyway, I had a great childhood, and then went on to Florida State. And in Florida State, I was a member of Kappa Alpha Theta. And after college, I traveled for my sorority after college. And,
Really?
And,
How do you travel for a sorority?
well, there's kind of like a whole afterlife, if you will, and it is each national organization has consultants that go out and meet with other chapters around the country just to try to do quality control and help advance the mission of the organization. And yeah, so that was really great. And in doing that, that is where I met this guy. And
Were you a sorority girl too?
I was. Still am. Once a sorority girl, all a sorority girl. Yeah. Yes.
yeah, so we met at a conference, and we can get into that. I don't want to take away from Nelson's story of who he is, but yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Is there anything that people wouldn't know about you or would be surprised to discover?
No, I'm kind of all out there.
Kind of all out
yeah,
there.
There's not much, that I keep under wraps, I would say. I don't know. Yeah.
It's a pretty open book.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Have you ever run a marathon?
No, I'm not a runner.
No.
No, have no interest in running.
But
Yeah.
you do like to work out with other people.
I do. I think triathlons would be good because there's like a variety of things, but I am not a long distance runner. I think I would get bored. Nothing against runners, but I do like to work out, but I like to work out with a group of women and we have a fun time.
That's excellent.
So, yeah.
All right, Nelson, you're up.
Yep. Lawson guy. Grew up here. Have 2 older brothers.
You're the baby.
I am. I'm almost like an only child.
Okay.
So my oldest brother Neil, he's super old. I don't know how he gets out of bed in the morning. No, he's 9 years older than I am, and then my brother Nathan is 7 years older. So there's a pretty large gap in
big
there.
gap.
Yep. And so my parents wanted a little girl, and they got this guy instead. And
Heidi.
stuck with me. Yeah. So I am kind of like an only child in a lot of ways. I have some only child tendencies too,
Sure.
good or bad. But
That's right. He does. I'm just kidding.
what is that?
I got a question for that.
Well, go
so
ahead.
we'll see.
Let's see. We can.
Well,
what is that?
It's a rapid fire question, and it is for Amy, and it is something that everybody loves about Nelson, but you are completely over.
Oh, I know. I have. I don't know what that is. I don't really. I'm not good at that. I
Do
don't
you have
know.
one? Do you have one for me, babe?
Oh,
You go. Oh, there it
What do
is.
you got?
She's
the
got
first
it.
thing that came to mind was the mustache, but that was just because it would be funny.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
she's-
loves the
Everybody
mustache.
loves the mustache, and then she's got
I
a
get to a
kiss on it.
point.
Yeah.
I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done. You hit me in the ear. It's gone. Get ready. You
Wow.
can grow it again later.
Yeah,
Dude.
Carissa's
Yeah.
is wonderful off the hinge things. It's fantastic.
Did you have the mustache when you met?
No.
That was new.
No.
Okay.
I don't know the history of the mustache. Why? I love it. I'm sure you hear that all the time. It's
I just feel like he has so much personality that something had to happen.
Yeah. It was this time it was I've grown it, and it's been through facial hair in my face on my
You
face.
had a
has
very
been,
long beard at one point.
yeah, I've
we look
just-
at pictures and we're like, what is
Yeah.
that thing?
many different
Iterations
iterations of
your,
it. Yeah. And this time it was, hey, I think I'm going to grow out my mustache. And she goes, are you ready? And I go, I don't know. Are you ready? And I haven't trimmed it until about 2 days ago in like 8 months.
Oh wow.
It just it's a life of its own. It's Mother Nature's television.
does it go from your nose to out to the wing?
Yeah.
That one like one.
Yeah. I've got some.
That
I've got
is
some,
long.
I've got some pieces that are like
He tried to do
2.5
that on his
inches long.
40th birthday.
I did.
Yeah.
Didn't go over well. I gotta have patience for that.
You do, and you also have to have a nice wax product of some kind to kind of keep it out of your mouth.
Not gonna lie, when I walked in tonight, you didn't have a waxed up. I was a little.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. No, it's like you let your hair down. I got to see the real you. You were buttoned up the first time I met you, and I wanted to touch it. But self-control, Carissa, you taught me not to touch things that aren't yours. So
Don't touch, please.
yeah,
Let's come back to you
Okay,
guys.
sorry.
What is something people wouldn't know about you or would be surprised to discover?
maybe I'm an introvert.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that people are like, oh yeah, but
Extroverted, introvert.
extroverted introvert.
Yeah,
Like I love people, and I mean that's why dentistry is fun for me because people come to me and I'm in my element. I get to enjoy them but going up and shaking some new person's hand or in a big crowd, I'm like, ugh. Where she's like, let's work the room.
Let's go.
Let's see who.
look
we don't
who's
meet
here.
everybody.
Oh, hey,
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I've learned more from her and being around her. Like I'm more comfortable with it. But yeah, I'm an introvert.
But I feel like I met him in an introverted environment. And so that was like a hard thing to realize of how introverted he is or that he desires that. And so I'm like, well, no, that's not how we met. We met in an extroverted
Yeah, I was like,
environment.
wait, yeah.
Sorry, I said that wrong. I'm so sorry. In an extroverted environment. And so I'm like, well, of course you're extroverted. Let's go out. Let's do all these things.
One of the many letdowns.
No.
Surprise. I know. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He hangs well. I mean, he goes along with me.
Yeah.
quite well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your family, kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have our son, Hayes, is 15 and a half. He is a driver.
Okay.
Restricted.
we're all shaking our heads.
Lord help us all.
Yeah. He does a really good job, but he is consumed with looking for a car right now.
Okay.
I mean, he's ADHD, not to define him, but like, when he gets hyper focused on something, kid is just locked in on this car.
Yep.
It's going to define who he is. It's so weird. So there's Hayes, good kid, love him, hilarious kid.
Hard worker.
Such a hard worker.
Hayes.
Hayes.
All right.
We got his name off of his street sign.
Okay.
95th and Hayes. Overland Park.
love it.
Yeah. So
I was thinking
OPKS.
Hayes, Kansas, but no.
No,
Hayes.
Hayes.
Hayes. Yeah, we did it.
I liked last names. So
Yeah, I was driving down the road and we were just going over these names. Like Collier was one. What were some others?
Palmer.
Oh,
And I was
great.
like, what about Hayes? I was like literally driving by it. And she's like,
Well, and it was also at an intersection. We knew his middle name would be Carter because that's that's Nelson's middle name.
Tell me it's Hayes Carter.
It's Hayes Carter, and there was
intersection.
an intersection.
but
of
we
Hayes
didn't know
Carter.
that though. It was not until her dad, after we'd had Hayes, he came over and he's like, let's go over there and take pictures of it. I'm like, okay, that's a cool idea. And he's like, let's just drive down the street and see what other signs. Maybe there's like Hayes and Love or no kidding. There's a Hayes and Carter.
Hayes and Carter.
And I'm like, we're stealing that someday.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've
And
seen
Amy's
your
like,
pictures.
let's not steal the sign, Nelson.
We had one made instead.
Yeah. So
I like it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me that's where he was conceived. I'm thinking this is a whole other, that's a whole other approach.
that's a great idea. Though.
There, he just
If you had
crossed
to
it.
name your child after where you had them conceived.
That's right. Hey, you never know. You never know. I will go right there.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just so
Yes.
So
you know. Okay.
and then we have a daughter too. Can't forget her.
very
yeah.
good.
So yeah.
Hayes and
Collins.
Hayes and Collins.
Yeah. Collins is equally as hilarious. So she is 12. She's just a good kid. Gives the best hugs.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
she's at that age where I didn't grow up around girls, and Amy is not like an emotional woman either. Like she's very. You're super easy.
Level.
Not
Chill.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
very chill. Collins is getting emotions, and so we're kind of learning that a little bit.
Okay.
And
That's fun.
I think that's new for both of us a little bit. But yeah, she just gives the best hugs. Though.
Yeah.
I
That's
love it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's awesome. Okay, we've gotten to know you guys that way, in a way that is more typical, right?
Sure.
So we have these rapid fire questions that we do. Want to run through some with you. These are quick.
Ooh.
Okay?
Okay.
These are quick. So
Rules of the game here. Who answers first?
why don't we go back and forth?
Love it.
Okay.
Or if I hit
so
you,
who's
then you
answering
can-
first here? Okay, there
He's
you
like,
go.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tag
You guys have some-
you if
you guys have-
necessary.
All right. Rapid fire. Pie, cobbler, or crisp?
Pie, apple pie that I make.
Okay. Bam. Bam.
I knew that was coming out.
Locked in. She's like, I don't know if I can answer quickly.
Oh, bam. I have
Got
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get harder. Go ahead, Nelson.
Key lime pie.
Key lime pie. All right. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 What does it mean to be happy?
Oof.
Let's go.
Sorry.
Chop, chop,
I feel
lollipop.
like happiness is like an external thing where like joy is an internal thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I kind of live in a happy space for the most part. I love being happy. I'm happy.
And she's joyful.
Very good.
Very joyful.
Joyful, joy filled.
Joyful.
Joyful.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you?
What-
Same?
what is
what
joy-
she said?
I
Happy?
would say that's 100%. Yeah,
Okay.
joy is yes,
Who apologizes first?
Nelson.
100%.
Seriously.
Oh yeah, I got awkward. Elf in the room doesn't live long.
Yeah.
Got to get it over with. It doesn't always go well, but yeah, I'm like let's just get this over with.
Started it. Get
Yeah.
it started.
Yeah.
Who's more stubborn?
Me.
Okay. Light and fast or slow and steady? Light and fast, slow
Yeah.
and steady.
I would say like fast. He's a
Well,
quick
I'm
start.
super fast paced, light and fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Like let's go.
I feel like you just mixed those two, but anyway, light and fast. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's light and fast or slow and steady.
Oh,
Think
no.
tortoise in the hare.
No,
You're the tortoise or you're the hare.
I'm squirrely. So I'm. Is that an option?
She's like,
The
tortoise or hare. I'm a
squirrel. We make our
squirrel.
own rules. Yeah. This game was fun.
Yeah.
Amy, Nelson's most annoying habit.
He has something going on with his jaw and it pops when he eats. So I can't sit next to him.
Can you get that?
I hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't sit next to him when he
Yeah.
eats.
She
And
literally will walk away.
she's
like that.
That's
oh,
enough.
I'm like, I can't help it.
yeah, we'll sit like not at a table where we're across from each other, but next to each other and we're sitting too close. I have to get up
Yeah.
and leave. So,
That's enough of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
What is matrimony every day?
Oh, that was rapid fire on this one.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, so it's a marriage conference that two of our really good friends started in Springfield, and it's the I would say the mission of it is a way for couples to reconnect.
Okay.
Just push pause,
Equipping
reconnect.
gospel-centered
Yes,
marriages.
gospel-centered marriages.
Awesome. Do penguins have knees?
Yes, I read that.
Okay. Well, you weren't supposed to read it, but that was
Yeah, I mean,
I would have initially said no.
I would have. Yeah, no way.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, yes. So, my love, do you know if penguins have knees or not?
I read it too.
Oh, thank
Dang, you can't put that in the notes.
I should. Well, yes, the rapid fire questions.
He totally
they're
thought I didn't
somewhat
read the
scripted,
notes.
but
Yeah.
they're
Like
some-
I sent it to you, but you didn't read it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Penguins do have knees, along with a femur and fibula and tibula. They are hidden inside of their bodies beneath feathers and fat. These knees are permanently bent in a squat-like hydrodynamic torpedo shape, which aids in fast swimming and causes their characteristic waddle on land.
Interesting.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
So they're always squatting. Apparently,
Apparently, it would be a
Quads of
permanent
steel.
bent-like squat.
Wow.
Hydrodynamic torpedo shape.
but yet they waddle.
They do.
Hydrodynamic. Those are big words.
Yeah. Okay, let's just lighten the mood here. Why don't you live in Lawson?
Oh, wow. There's the line in. He crosses it.
Holy. Speaking of elephant in the room.
Yeah.
This is a question submitted by our very own Chris Weir.
Thanks,
And
Chris.
He said, you
gonna
will
get
ask them this question and you will tell them that I asked it.
And you do what Chris says, and I like it. No, we actually, so when I lived in Virginia, so we met, I worked in my fraternity, I lived in Virginia, and I bought a house in Prairie Village. My brother literally lived in the house next door. He moved out, I moved in like a month later, and it was a dump. And so I remodeled it, proposed to her. Anyway, we lived there through dental school, and when I started working up here in Lawson with my dad, it was an hour drive. And I'm like, we can't do this. And so honestly, we were that crazy couple that looked from Lawson out by the tank pond
Yep.
all the way to where we live now,
Yeah.
and looked at 42 houses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working in Lawrence.
Yeah. She was
too.
working in Lawrence. Thanks.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly. And so just considering the drive that way as well, having lived on the Kansas side previously. But yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of it goes back to the introvert in me, so like I grew up, I was the dentist kid in a lot of ways. And like, I just didn't want that to be my identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't know if I could just go to the basketball game and say, hey, look at this. And
Yeah.
like, nobody likes the dentist anyway. And like, I do like to be liked. I'm like, I don't want to go in there thinking, do people like me or not?
That guy hurt me.
Yeah. Sorry. Not intentionally. So a little bit is just like landing in a place where I could just be Nelson for me, and
Yeah.
that we could just be, and my mom's name's Amy too.
Oh.
And that joke gets old. So I was thinking of my Amy,
I
not
like
mom.
it.
Mom, if you're listening, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Who plans date night?
I would say a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
And if we haven't had it in a while, I would say he's, really instigates like, hey, we need to get back to that.
It's on our calendar for this time every week.
Okay.
And then just life happens. Our kids go to youth group during this time, and it's like, this is a really logical time for us
Yep.
to just get some time.
Double date, connect.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, Nelson, something Amy does that you once thought was irritating, but now think is cute.
Cold feet in the bed. And I say cute lightly. That shock value is still,
It's
it's like, come on. But I'm like, okay.
all right. What's your favorite way to reconnect?
Hugging.
Hugging, just a good old hug.
Just,
Or I like to act like I'm a lap dog, like I'm a,
just
like a
climb
big,
up in
huge
there.
dog, but
Yeah.
I think I'm a tiny dog. And so then I crawl up, on his lap and he's
How do you
like,
feel about jetpack,
jetpack.
where you're behind him and like you hug him from behind?
oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's
No,
new.
I
That's
don't,
called
yeah.
the jetpack.
Okay. I like, just like
You
a
should
good
try
old
it.
bear hug.
Yeah, try it. Try it. Let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your last fight about? Just you don't have to give us the details.
My jaw popping.
Okay.
No. Oh, I don't know. Probably something about the house.
All right.
Yeah.
Beach or mountains?
Oof.
Beach.
Beach.
Although I don't like
mountain.
the sand, so I don't know. I mean, I grew up down there,
She's
but
like condo.
Either one. I mean, that's such a tough one because both are awesome.
yeah, I know you can't
Yeah.
lose on either.
One word that describes your marriage today.
I would say joyful.
Joyful.
Pretty freaking great.
Pretty
That's
freaking
one.
great. Yeah, that's one. That's one.
One
good-
word.
That's a country
It's
word.
just- thank you.
Pretty freaking great.
Pretty freaking
Yeah. Pretty freaking good, man. I tell you, man, that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Are pimple popping videos satisfying? Yes or no?
Oddly, yes.
Very.
Thank you. I would expect a dentist to say
Very.
that, but one piece of advice you'd give newlyweds:
Invest early.
invest early, go right after it.
Yep.
Yeah. And nothing's 50-50. It's 100%.
Let's go. Let's go. You guys are going to drop dimes like that all night. That's
Oh,
what
we
I
got 'em.
came for. That's what we're here for. Oh, let's transition. Matrimony Every Day is a marriage conference. You've alluded to that. We'll talk more about that. There's a marriage conference stigma out there. I'm going to a marriage conference. There must be a problem. I think people say, oh, they went to a marriage conference. What's going on? I hope everything's all right in their home. And they start gossiping, right? Marriage health. As of 2025, approximately 39 to 42% of first marriages in the United States are estimated to end in divorce, showing a slight long-term decline due to delayed marriage, right? People getting married later, and increased counseling, while overall rates at multi-decade lows. Gray divorce, ages 65 plus, has tripled since the 90s. Second marriages face higher risk, with 60 to 67% ending in divorce. This is all based on a recent Google search. So, hot take, people don't get married hoping to get divorced, right? Sure. Divorce happens for a lot of reasons. Many times it's something else, but there's too much here to capture. I want to approach the judgment-free zone and kind of set the tone for our conversation around this subject and say, all of us should be better at marriage than they are or have been. So we're not going to criticize the divorced person right now. We're not going to criticize the person who might be in a situation where they're struggling with their spouse or whatever. There's a lot that you all have seen at your marriage conference, potentially, where not everybody comes together to reconnect in a good way, and not everybody leaves probably happy, and sometimes based on some of the content. But there's a lot here. Judgment free. Everybody should be better. The statistics say that this is worth our effort. This is worth our conversation. This is worth our approach. Compared to children from continuously married, low conflict homes, children from divorced or single parent homes are statistically about twice as likely to drop out of high school, more likely to have lower average grades and test scores, less likely to complete a 4-year college degree. About 30 to 35% of single parent families live below the poverty line. Children in single parent households are more likely to experience food insecurity and house instability, experience anxiety or depression, show behavior problems at school, struggle with relationships later in life, more likely to experience financial hardship in early adulthood, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All tied to marriages. Now, qualifying, and again, not shaming in a judgment-free zone, based on the level of parental conflict, economic stability, parent involvement, support systems, there's ways for people to navigate these systems and still come out super healthy, and that's fine. But the hope for all families, right, this kind of the North Star of this episode, is to give folks a reason to fight for their spouses, fight for their marriage, and fight for their families, right? So that's why you're here. So I want to talk about your story, your experiences, and then more importantly, how long have you been married?
21 years.
20 years.
Yep.
21 years.
It'll be 21 years, yeah.
Your counsel and your advice. It's weird to say that we're at this age where we can give counsel now, right? But you, based on this feedback, are in the minority. I guess it's stereotypically and statistically more likely that a child will not grow up with their biological father than they will, right? So anyway, so we're going to begin a conversation here. I'd like to build a space for acceptance and like kind of communal understanding for the individual marriages, and then ultimately like the benefit to the community, right? listen to this episode, work on your marriage, and as a result, your marriage will get better. And what do you know? This little town will get better. And
I love that.
The community will get better, and your church will get better, right? Everywhere you go, because your marriage is right, everything else is right. So let's start with you back at the beginning. How did you meet? What first drew you to one another?
Hold on. Can I want to
Go.
echo some of the stuff
Go.
you said there, because I said our marriage is pretty freaking great.
Yes.
It's pretty freaking hard too.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's, I mean, when I say that, because it is, and I'm super blessed that I get to do it with my best friend,
Sure.
you know, and I think that's an attitude that not every day. We always joke like, I love you, but I don't always like you. And I think that recognition is like, we're not buttoned up. It's hard. It's so hard. I mean, with just all the external things, if it was just us in the mountains or beach, whatever we decide, eating her apple pie, it'd be super great, but that's just not life. Right. So I appreciate you said that. And so, it is hard for those going through marriage right now, and it's not pretty freaking great. It doesn't feel that way. It's okay.
Yeah.
It just takes two people wanting it to be great and just like trying to come together. So I think that's awesome. You said that, and the impact it has. I mean, we see it at work. You see it when it struggles, when it doesn't with people, when your marriage isn't clicking, it matters. Your kids feel it. People around you feel it. Like, I know when we're not gelling, I do my best to clock that at the door when I cross the threshold, but you've got that weight on. And so
people see it.
People do.
People see it.
And if they don't, they feel it because you're not your best. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
And like your vision for it too.
Yeah.
That is pretty great.
Excellent.
And what was your question?
How did you meet? How did you meet, and what first drew you to one another? We're just going to kind of go down through your story of how you kind of came to this marriage, how you came to one another, get to know your relationship a little bit, then dig into some of the hopes that you have for others.
Yeah. So we met at IU, the Indiana University's campus. She worked for a sorority. I worked for my fraternity.
Okay.
And
So graduated college.
Yeah. We were professionals. I made $7,500 a year.
Big
Loaded.
boy.
So why would she not want
That's right.
to date me? She's like, there's a guy who's got a future. So we had a conference. She was hot.
You're tall. I guess it
There you
works.
go.
I was like, she's cute. No, I mean, just like when you meet her, she's just electrifying. Like she makes you feel like you're the only person in the room, makes you feel really special. And I was lucky enough to be like, hey, So, that's where I'm the story I have.
Yeah.
And now Amy.
No. In the same vein, I think that is the same for him. I feel like he has a very charismatic personality and something I'm drawn to. And definitely at that particular event or conference was definitely drawn to. I always would ask people that I felt like were in good marriages. I'm like, how did you know? Because I'm like, I'm out of college. Like, did I miss did I miss it? And I'll never forget this couple that I used to babysit for, who I just admired their marriage quite a bit. She was like, you'll just know. And I know that sounds crazy, but you will. And I'm like, well, I haven't really felt that yet. And so until I met him, I mean, honestly, I know that sounds silly, but you just have this feeling. And we were distant. Like, he was living in Lexington. I was living in Atlanta, I think.
I think
And so he, God love him, but he's kind of oblivious in some regards. I don't think quite knew maybe that I was as into him. And so I would email him and write. And this is back 21 years ago when I would, or even further, 25 years ago, I would handwrite him postcards from when I traveled. And I just felt like if I, continually drop my name and in his inbox or his mailbox, that he would, figure out that I was kind of into him. So that is how we met. And then it was just smitten ever since.
That's awesome. So let's go the counterpoint of this. You said, this is who I saw on the other side. Who were you at the time? What did you think of yourself at the time?
Wow, that's a great question.
When you were first got married, how would you describe yourselves?
Well, I think it was another thing about us getting together is we were in a very similar state of life. We were both, out of college into this first job situation, enjoying it, but then also thinking, there's what's next. And I think that having those commonalities and being able to share in that experience of knowing what we were doing together collectively as, sorority and fraternity individuals, which can be kind of a, lonely, existence sometimes because you're out traveling by yourself. So having each other to have that relatability to was really nice. But I think in terms of who I was, I mean, I think I was just kind of searching for the next thing, and I even think early in our marriage, I ended up moving to Kansas City, and I'll never forget, my mom was like, "Oh, I mean, I just wish you had a ring," and then my dad was like,
No pressure.
Yeah, my dad was like, "No, this is great. If things don't work out, you can just hit the road." And so, but luckily, things worked out. So yeah, I mean, again, I just felt like I kind of knew in my heart that this was who I wanted to be with, but I don't know. I mean, how do you feel like early on, or who you were?
Yeah, I don't know who I am today. So, I mean, that's such a hard question. I'm like still trying to figure it out. So,
I work hard.
Probably the same guy, just with less gray hair and a beard then, just trying to figure it out. No, I think who were we married when we were first being married is just literally trying to figure things out. I'm the youngest of 3 boys, just trying to figure out what life was. And I knew I needed a career of some kind. I went to school to be a dentist and didn't want to do that. After I graduated college, I was like, undergrad. And I was like, I don't want to do what everybody else in my family's done. And so I resisted it. But I had this calling to want to do it again. So I think there was a tension for me career wise. So we were just trying to scrape some nickels together and make it, I think probably is what we were doing.
So you ultimately scraped the nickels and you tried to make it, right? But you had expectations of marriage before you got there, right? What did those look like? And I think maybe even more importantly, how long did that last? How long do you think, here's what marriage is going to be, this is what we're pursuing, and then you're in it, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, right? Yeah. And it's good and bad when it happens, right? Sometimes it's the highs are better than higher, lows are lower sometimes than you expected them to be. And then I'm kind of also just famously naive, thinking that the next season of life is going to be easier. I'm always thought the next season of life is going to be easier. I'll get into high school, it'll be easier. I'll go to college, it'll be easier. I'll get married, it'll be easier. I'll have kids, it'll be easier. And it's the opposite. Yeah. So what shaped your expectations of marriage before you were married, and how long did those expectations last?
Well, I think we all come to marriage like with our own life experiences, maybe how your parents did things and whether that was good or bad, and if you want to do the same or do different. But I think there was I'll never forget, maybe the first year of our marriage, I was down in the basement folding clothes, and I called my sister and I was like, this is really hard. I was like, nobody told me this, you're just, you think you go into this blissful experience with the wedding and the ceremony and,
honeymoon.
All the, and the honeymoon and all the, the fun and whatnot. And then you have 2 imperfect people living under the same roof with very different potentially life experiences and life backgrounds. And you come to the expectation piece of like, well, my dad locked all the doors and Nelson lived in the farm.
I didn't know we had locks on doors.
On a rural community, and he never locked the doors. And I'm like, wait, you need to be locking the doors here. So it's just like we all come to the table with these expectations, whether your parents did it, whomever did it. And so when those aren't met, and I'll never forget that I even think in our first year of marriage, we watched maybe it was in Life Group or something about, I think it was Andy Stanley talking about expectations, these boxes that you bring into your marriage and their expectations. And when that person does not fulfill those, what happens, that resentment and, things that you can build up. And I'm not a talker. I'm a bury my head in the sand kind of a girl. And so if you don't kind of talk about those things, how negatively impactful that can be. But I do feel like expectations is a big piece in early marriage. People coming with stuff that is not met, and then they feel let down.
Yeah. Her parents gave us a weekend to remember.
Oh, yeah. Is that Dr. Dobson? Or was that Focus on the Family?
Focus on the Family. Yeah. And so almost like to year anniversary from my memory, we went to it, and it was in Kansas City. We got a hotel room and we stayed because it was a 2-day conference. And we're sitting there with a ton of people. It's huge. And they're going through like stages of marriages, and it says the honeymoon's over kind of. And I felt like both of us at the same time, we just were like, oh, okay, this is okay. Everybody goes through this. Like, this is a hard thing. It's going to be hard. And unless we're committed to growing together. it's going to stay hard and it's not going to be much fun. And so that was such a gift for the two of us. And it was this idea of the stigma of, nothing was bad. We didn't know anything was bad. There's just someone trying to invest in us that we didn't even know
We needed.
we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Jacob, who started the Matrimony, he's like, when we got out of dental school, we were just going to continuing education, just trying to learn how to be better. We went to school, but like, that's not enough. And that's when he started Matrimony. He's like, why are we not investing in this? We spend it in our careers outside of, the secular world, whatever you want to call it, but we're not doing it with the most important investment we have. And that's the marriage that we've got, and trying to be better. And I just love that framing of it. And that was a huge gift for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Before we move on to the next question, which is, what was a hard season of your marriage? I don't want to miss the opportunity for Carissa to identify with your lock the doors bit.
Yes.
We had that same fight.
Okay.
The exact same fight. I was like, don't you love us? You're like, we're going to bed at night and I'm locking the doors. What?
Yeah.
Right.
And so
It's a man's job to lock the
which
doors.
is funny because at some point we realized that it was probably my mother locking all the doors. She was always opening the blind, closing the blinds, locking the doors at night. And for whatever reason, I had this thing in my head that was like, this is your job and you don't love us. And so to this day, he locks the door at night and he announces, what is it
Locking
you
up
say?
like a man.
I'm locking up like a man
I'm going to
every
steal
night.
that tonight.
Gonna lock
Teach
these
my
doors
son
like
too.
a man.
Yeah.
All right. Can you share a season of your marriage when it felt stretched or fragile? And what did that season teach you?
I think every season has that, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've ever been on the brink necessarily, but there's always tension. Kids, I mean, that's an X factor.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And let's
even-
let's unpack the question maybe a bit too.
Well, I mean, thinking, if you want to go from each stage, but like when he was in dental school, I was working full time. We had just had a child. There's just a lot of demands on, your roles, whether you're the mom, whether you're the, sugar mama, or you're, all those things. And so those demands become really overwhelming. And I think the focus can be tilted, and you just have to kind of get back to, in line with, okay, let me make you the focus in terms of just keeping that, an important part, kind of that North Star and moving forward. But I can vividly remember those times. And again, in that moment, you're like, oh, this is so hard, or whatever. And then life continues to happen. And then you have, what seems to be bigger and, more intense, dealings. So.
Yes.
Something you want to add? Yeah.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm trying, one of the things I kind of load these questions thinking I'm going to get an answer. And every time I do that, I fail, right? Because you say the guest generally says something that I wasn't anticipating. And then I feel like an idiot for having thought how the conversation was going to go. Famously, Austin and Heather Johnson, they're adopting internationally.
Oh yeah.
And I build an entire question set around this adoption. And one of my final questions was, how does this feel for you? Right? Like thinking this is what it's all about them and all about their whatever. And like their answer was, well, really it's all about him.
You're like, you missed the point.
Yeah, exactly. And I asked Coach Belcher about, if he had just gotten 400 wins, which is a lot of wins in basketball, particularly in high school. And I'm like, are you going to try to get to 500? Just, and his like, you know what? It's really not about the wins for me. It's
about the people.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
you're missing the point.
I feel so self-actualized, and then people educate me on why I'm just an idiot. So
No.
but like what I'm trying to get at here with this question is like, you at some point learned a tool very early on in your marriage that came as a result of stress. So I hear you answering that question as he was in school, he was stressful, you have different roles or whatever. And then you said, I focused on him and I then moved into a new mental space and things came back to a center of some kind, right? That's the question, the stress, and the tool, right? So I'm trying to like see where you felt those stressors, where you use those tools, and then how you kind of change and apply those tools to your marriage as you grow.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest tool we have is our faith. I would say that is it. At the marriage conference, I always every year try to make it different, but like God's at the top. And then when each one of us are growing in our faith individually, it just kind of naturally we're growing together. I mean, that triangle of faith for us seems to level out all the difficulties.
Yeah.
So that tool, and when we're really focused on that, tools like being in a life group, small group, has been very influential, especially when we were super young.
Yeah.
We had a
community.
Yeah, we had a community that we were all young marrieds, just starting to have kids, trying to figure it out.
Essential.
It was. And I'll never forget when she's like,
Pitched the idea.
she totally pitched the idea. We went to a small group and we're driving back and she's
No. It was like, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
from my memory,
Yeah.
it's like, so we get back, it was like great people. And she's like, so what'd you think? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But Sunday nights, that's when the Chiefs play. She's like, what?
I was like,
She's like, when did you become a Chiefs fan? I'm like, right now.
When it meant I was going to have to grow.
Exactly. We didn't. My parents didn't do that.
Yeah.
They had Sunday school.
Sure.
And I'm sure they had great friends. I just didn't pay attention to it. But that has been one of the best things is through the marriage conference, the first year that we went, and one of the first leaders that pastor out of Branson, Ted Cunningham, and he's got a book I'd recommend to anybody. It's called Fun Loving You. Guy is hilarious. So funny. But he says you need to have backup singers in your marriage. Backup singers take a vocal and they make it even better.
Yeah.
And they're even able to like cover up when the lead vocalist isn't great.
Yeah.
And so when you've got backup singers in your marriage, it's impactful because you know that you've got someone else, whether they actually are pouring into you or you just know that they're living in a way that you want to live too.
Yeah.
It's like a silent accountability partner. So
Yeah.
those have been big for the two of us. So I don't know if that's what you're fishing for.
Absolutely.
I think that has been how we view marriage, what marriage is designed to be, having a faith around it, and has been what has really made our marriage pretty freaking great when it is.
So outside of like weekly date night on Wednesdays and whatnot, how do you protect your marriage?
What do you mean? More like how are we protecting it?
Yeah, I mean, just I'm thinking you're making an intentional decision weekly to reconnect and date one another. Yeah. I mean, that's what these Wednesday nights are. And, it's kind of where we're at here. Like, I'm having a blast. I feel like you'll go home and talk about fun things one another said, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's an investment. There's other ways to protect your marriage. And what are some of the ways that you do that?
For me, it's just being a good husband and being a good man. Like the temptations of the world are just, they're out there. And I just don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't want a divorce. I want to have, the Ted Cunningham, what didn't he say? Having a marriage worth repeating. I'm like, gosh, dang. I had great parents, had a good marriage, great marriage in a lot of ways. Perfect? Oh, heck no. Like we had behind those closed doors, things that I'm sure that they wouldn't have been proud of or whatnot, but
sure,
great marriage. Was it worth repeating? Yes. I want what they had and I want even better. I want my two children I want best friends for them. And like so much to pray over that and to have them. And I mean, we speak about that for me. And I'm just, when your husband, when your wife, like I want them to be part of our family and part of who they are. So I think for me, protecting it is just who I want to be and what I don't want out of life. Is that. And we speak about it. And I speak about her to my kids. Like it gets me fired up when my 15-year-old disrespect her. I'm like, you don't do that.
And he doesn't say your mom, he says my wife.
That's mine.
Like she's like, this woman is, we don't do that, man.
Yeah. Amy, anything to add there?
Oh, I think just, we enjoy each other's company so much. And I think because of that, we enjoy doing things together and taking trips and, having time away from everything to focus on each other. But I think it's all about intentionality, honestly, because there is so much chaos in the world between just life and work and kids and trying to, keep up with the demands of all of that. And I think we both made a commitment 21 years ago on April 16th that we would always have each other's best interest in mind. And we fail at that. I mean, all the time. And I think pride and selfishness, I think, is the leading factor of a lot of these statistics that you are speaking of, but on both parties, if the husband or the wife, it's not just one or the other, but marriage is not a breeding ground of selfishness, because if that is there, I think that will erode the marriage quicker than a lot of things.
Yeah.
It is, like I said at the beginning, somebody told us that, like, it is not a 50-50 party.
100.
It is each, putting in 100, and sometimes you've got to give and take in those things. I can't do it. I've got this going on, but like having that willingness to give and take and not feel like you're being taken advantage of either. I think is a big piece.
Yeah. What do you hope your children learn about marriage simply by watching yours?
That it's worth it. I mean, I do feel like marriage is in a way under attack in this era. And I feel like a lot of, 20 somethings see a lot of the negative perceptions of marriage, whether on social media or just, out there, and that it's a lot of work and that it's hard and whatnot, but there's such a rewarding factor. And I think too, people speak, it's easy to kind of complain and misery loves company and, talk badly about your spouse because other people are doing that. But, it's sometimes hard to speak so positively about it because you're just like, oh, that must be nice, or, and so I don't think a lot of times that public space is hearing that. And my favorite thing is when men and women esteem their spouse publicly. Yeah. I just think that is such a gift because there is so much public shaming and, humiliation and, or just dissing, maybe truth and joking, but it hurts, And so I hope that people can be, not prideful enough that they can esteem their spouse in a way that just really builds them up in a public front. That was another thing I think we heard early on was never speak poorly of your spouse in front of other people. It's just so demeaning and does nothing for calling people up. It calls them out. And as we heard last couple weekends ago, that
was a good one.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's just no place for that.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny you talked about like how hard it is and how society is attacking that hard or thinks that it's too hard, whereas the same society will praise you for working hard for your 401k or working hard for the thing that you're trying to afford, the house you're trying to live in. And then you're celebrated for how awesome it is. When you're working for your family, why wouldn't you work for your marriage the same way? And then when it is hard, the best things come from hard work. Like it's the same fruit. It's just a little
Totally
different tree. Yeah. It's just a different tree.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question before we get to matrimony every day. I don't think you'll be able to answer the question, but I want to know what you think
Great.
it
The
is.
challenge is on.
Can you describe the perfect marriage? Describe it. It's hard, isn't it? I thought it'd be easy.
you?
I thought it'd be easy too. It's an impossible question.
I don't think
to
there's.
answer.
I was going
I
to
don't
say,
think
you'd have to
is there
have a
one?
lack of
Is it a
stress,
cheat?
like vacation marriage, maybe.
Is
I don't know. There's even challenges there.
Is it achievable? Right. That's the thing. A perfect. I think there is no perfect marriage, and it's not achievable. Is my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about perfect every day.
Yeah.
Right. Like there are definitely moments where you're like, we are in sync and we are gelling. And then I'll do something, he'll do something, and it just kind of gets it off.
Moment's over.
Yeah. But I also think it's your perception and your mentality around it. Like being married and staying married was the only option, And again, there are,
Love that.
situations that, that isn't the case for everyone, and because of certain things. But even in the hard, going down a path in my head of, oh gosh, this is really hard, and these are hard times, and would it be easier? That just I don't let that creep in. So I almost don't like that perfect marriage comment in terms of like, it's not perfect, it's like ugly. Again, when you have two imperfect people coming together to try to make something, it's not only the Lord is perfect in terms of like that. So I just feel like, I don't know if perfect in marriage, is it enjoyable? Is it fulfilling? Is it, missional? I mean, there's all these other words that I think and I think if we continue to think that marriage and perfect go hand in hand, then I think a lot of people are going to be really disappointed to a degree. I don't know if that makes.
Yeah, that's well said.
Yeah,
I completely agree. It was like I said, some of these things are a bit loaded, but at the same time, that's what I hope to get out of this, right? I mean,
no, I wasn't dissing you on the idea, but I just don't want that to feel like that people to aspire to that, because that's a chase that may never be fulfilled to that the degree of perfect. Now, is it all those other things?
Because it puts an expectation on your spouse that's not achievable too.
Right.
I mean, that's the hard part is like, man, we got enough pressure in life to have that.
Yeah. And in the long run, it's more beautiful because it was messy and hard and worth it. And, that was really hard and you didn't leave, or that was, and I didn't leave. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Well, and I like the words that you can replace instead of perfect, right? Can you describe the missional marriage? Can you describe the loving marriage? Can you describe the kind marriage? Can you describe the, insert word that you're aspiring to be that's better and that's not prideful, that's not self-oriented, that's not, So, okay, so out of all of this history, out of this marriage of 21 plus years, came the idea for Matrimony Every Day and a conference here in Kansas City. So can you elaborate on the rapid fire? What is, and can you describe Matrimony Every Day for our listeners?
Yeah, so a Matrimony Everyday Marriage is a concept of a conference that was born out of our two dear friends in Springfield, Janae and Jacob McLaughlin, who just really have a passion for marriage and pouring into marriage. And they started this conference 11 years ago with, I think it was just 6 couples, and they were leading it. Her parents, her dad's a pastor. They led some of the sessions, and it has over the last 11 years grown to last year we had, this year in Springfield, we had 75 couples in Springfield. And so we started going probably in 18, driving down and being a part of that. And
driving to Springfield for the event.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And, I think because we'd done some marriage conferences before, we were like, yeah, let's do this. And just sitting there over a couple of years, and we were in a small group back here in Kansas City, and just friends and people we knew were like, man, this would really be really beneficial for people we know here in Kansas City. And so I think it was 21, we approached Jacob and Janae and just said, hey, I really feel like, the Lord's really putting on our hearts that we really want to bring this to Kansas City. Like, we just think it would be really valuable for, people we know, and wanting it to kind of be closer to home. I think that Nelson was talking about the backup singers, and having people in your life that you do life with, you want them to kind of hear the same kind of, message and lessons and whatnot. And so they graciously said, yeah, let's do it. Let's take it to KC. And so 22 was our first year that we hosted it. And so this last couple weeks ago was our 5th year hosting. So it's essentially Jacob and Janae have kind of the vision for the ministry, and I don't want to call it like a conference in a box, but it's like we do things very similarly in terms of like they've got a well-oiled machine in Springfield, and we replicate that. in terms of things that we do, activities, speakers, content related stuff. So
Yeah. Can I provide you with some feedback?
Oh yeah,
It was wonderful.
you're a dear.
Is it what you expected?
Well, that's the next question,
Oh,
but we'll get to
sorry.
it. Yeah.
Nelson, you're not the question asker.
We did. I love it. That's what I'm saying. So we just absolutely had a fantastic time.
Yeah.
And our experience with marriage conferences up to this point really was
Gary Chapman
yeah.
in like 2003.
Yeah. Yeah. And he wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages,
I love
as
it.
many of you know. And I've taken that to the bank. I mean, I love it. I'm physical touch and quality time. My love is words of affirmation, right? Not so much physical touch, which we work through. We worked through that. But we went to that and it was so monumental for us that at that time that we were like, we need to do this more. We should do this every year.
Yeah.
And it was 23 years later, we went to your conference and remembered why we said we wanted to do it and why we do it. And we're planning on going next year.
Yay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's the where I was hoping to go. And thank you, Nelson, for the lead in. What goes on at a marriage conference? Because it sounds so stuffy. And Carissa said it beautifully, and I'll give you the opportunity to say it, but you were like, I saw Amy's hand or thumbprint on
it's beautiful.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I mean, you set the table so pretty. And, there was a flower bar and all the tiny little, there wasn't just lunch, there wasn't just breakfast, there was like specialty everything and cute little menus. And it was
curated.
I felt pampered. And that was nice. That was just kind of the cherry on top of the whole experience.
And I made a list because it's important. I think we talk about some of the details, but you think, what do I get when I go to a marriage conference? And I think in some places you might not get this. And so this is maybe a plug and a pitch for yours. So get ready because tens of thousands of people are going to know. No, but you had personalized coffee drinks when we were there. Like we walked in
Specialty.
and it was early and we had to leave the house early and we had to make arrangements for the house and whatnot. And by the time we made it, we were tired and it was like early. It was like 8 and it was like 8 a.m. on a Saturday and I had a long week.
8:45.
I know. And there was coffee there and there was welcoming people at the door and there was a table set for us and we sat down and it was a little bag of stuff and it was just every little detail. There were materials, tools, resources, giveaways. We had connection and time together with one another, but we also had friends there. We met people there and that was wonderful. You look like
We
you
went
have
home.
something.
No, we went home with a book. We went home with a blanket.
Yep.
With fresh flowers.
Yep. There was also lunch, fellowship with others, informed speakers, support, right? All of these things.
Don't forget the caricature.
Yes. We had Did you see it upstairs?
I did. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, we had it there. I
Had to
wanted to
frame
talk
it.
to you about it. Yeah. So this famous mustache, everybody saw it. Like, have you had your caricature yet? Because they all wanted to see it. So maybe I'll take a picture of that and post it part of my episode. But we left with a conviction and desires to share and change and try new things. And we've been married for 25 years this June. And just thank you for the refresher and the reminder of we feel like we've got it going our way most of the time.
Yeah.
And we remembered why we want to go and need to go to these things. And so for somebody to say it's stuffy, for somebody to say whatever, okay. I mean, you're not going to the right conference if that's the way you feel about it. But it was really a really special treat for us.
Love that.
So how did you, well, you kind of talked about the inspiration, but was there a specific moment that made you think other couples need this? They need this type of support and it's okay to need it. And we want to be a part of providing that. Like, how did that come about with your friend or is it maybe deeper in that part of the story?
No, I mean, just sitting there. I mean, when the Spirit stirs, you're just like, this is something that needs to be shared. And who else is going to do it And I think this is the burden we need to have and to take, and we're capable of doing it. Amy does 99.9% of that day. And it's like planning a wedding, and she does it so well.
It felt like that.
Yes. And, from finding the venue to the stress of the budget to all the things. And what I've watched, though, is very interesting when we do this. Our marriage is a turd coming up to it.
Oh,
yeah,
funny.
do tell, right? Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, it's
we used to call it a birthday party freak out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
let's go down into that.
Right before a birthday party, we'd have to keep the house clean. We have to do this, whatever, right? And you kind of go crazy for the expectation of the event, right? And you kind of miss
He's
out.
saying he means you.
That's right.
It's like, I here's the part of our relationship. I'm the vision guy. She's the doer. She cleans up so many of my messes and in so many ways. Yeah, you can smile big. Yeah. And this is not the intention, because I was naive in what it really took to throw a party like that. I'm like, this is cool.
Jacob and Janae made it look so easy. I'm like, oh wait, can we just bring this down to Kansas, or bring it up to Kansas City, and we'll make it happen?
Should have asked more questions.
Yeah. No.
But the element of hospitality, it doesn't make sense to have it in a hotel. This should be at a church. It just doesn't make sense.
In terms of from a financial. Yeah.
This should be, but that is important. And so it's just an awesome day. But this year, I think it's been fun to see her. This was the least stressed I've seen her do it and enjoy it. One, probably just the reps of doing it. This is her
but I
fifth
also
time,
feel like, and I attribute a lot of this to Janae's, just how she does things, just like the reliance on the Lord. My first, couple of years, you just want to control, and you want to worry about it all. And there is an element of a lot of responsibility. You feel a lot of responsibility, just like I did on our wedding day, to make sure everybody that came to my wedding, that they, saw us and we said hi. And that's just my personality, where I go to weddings. I go to weddings now, even probably before. And if I get to see the bride and groom, great. If I don't, it's not a big deal. But I don't know why I put that on myself to want to have that level of responsibility. So, but back to your point, I can vividly remember sitting in the room in Springfield at Hotel Vandervoort in 21. It was 18 or 19, sorry. And just stuff that was going on with some friends and in life group was just the speaker was talking about deciding destiny, or
decide or drift. There's this point, that you can either decide or you can drift in your marriage, and you drift unknowingly. So you have to decide to have a good marriage. Is kind of his point.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to bottle this up and just let everybody hear this. And I'm like, well, the only way to do that is to get him to come, and have this in Kansas City. So that is kind of where that kind of came from. But I mean, again, so much of what we do is because of the irrational generosity and hospitality that Jacob and Janae have led, and we wanted to replicate that. I would also say that's a little bit of our personality too. Right. And so wanting to be able to do that, I think too, we've been to marriage conferences where, there is that perception of that stuffy, or, oh my gosh, am I going to have to share all my, insides to somebody else? And, I don't want to do
icebreaker.
Yeah.
No, the introvert says no.
Exactly. And we have 2 top tables because of this guy. And in Springfield, they have 8 top tables, but he's like, no, I want, and we have a mix. But I mean, he's like, there's some people that come with not knowing anybody else. And he doesn't not always like sitting with other people.
I was relieved to have a 2 top.
Yeah.
Did you get one?
Really? Yeah.
I was thinking of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm an extroverted introvert. And
in that environment though, it's
yeah.
And we want people to be able to, talk and download and, debrief
process.
and in that
And not
space.
feel like you have to be
Share
vulnerable
it
with
with-
someone you don't
yeah.
know. If you come with your small group, that's different, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, when I'm there, I would want to connect with Amy.
Yep.
I love you, but I don't care about your marriage as much as I want to know about this time. This is intentional time for the 2 of us
Yep.
to invest, and I want to take advantage of that. So that's why we had those.
Yeah. And I also say to Nelson, so I plan it, sure, but he is the voice and the face guy of it on the day of, which is a tremendous responsibility. And he does just an incredible job. But I do give him feed lines to him, much to his dismay.
There's a lot of
talking
puppeteering
notes.
going on. Hey, if you could say this, I'm like, I can't say it like that. So like, you're going to get what comes out.
Yes.
Which
But
you don't know.
I do tell him to say, we know what it takes to get people here. The making the accommodations for the kids and the sports games and putting those things on hold. But I just don't think there's another greater thing you can show your kids is that mom and dad are going to focus on our marriage. We're going to go focus on being better husband and wife so that we can be better parents for you.
Yeah.
And we say that at the beginning, like, thank you for doing what it takes to get here. And then at the end, there's so much intentionality with the things that we do. And sometimes I don't always we know the intention, right? But I'm like, I want people to know why you got a blanket. That was a big, piece of Janae's vision about this covering and protection and wanting to make sure they understood that, why do we do the drinks and why do we do all the little things? Well, we want to bless you guys as a couple because there's so often moms are doing their thing, dads are doing their thing. And so to come together and just to be, doted on to a degree.
Sometimes you're rolling in on empty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That we can do a little refill on that. And we know it's not the end all be all. I mean, we're not marriage therapists. We're, Nelson always gets up there and he's like, I'm just a dentist, we're just two people, but we just hope that it plants a seed. And to your point, like you want to try to do things further with your spouse collectively and just growing together. So,
Right.
Do you all still go to Springfield and kind of get to do your own sit at the table and listen experience?
totally.
But we definitely have, that's our kind of time to get connected, but sometimes we help a lot down there. Jacob, I say help a lot, but we don't always get to focus depending on what they need. But yes, that's our time to invest in our own marriage.
Yeah. Which is nice.
So I think we've kind of talked around it. Can we take a moment and just maybe go through the agenda real fast? So just like, when do people show up? What do you do while you're there? And then when do they leave?
Yeah.
Like what is the
Yeah. So 8:45, we like people, the doors open. No, 8:45, the doors open. And this year we did do a specialty coffee bar. And so we want people to have time to enjoy those and mix and mingle. Some people, do come with their small group or a friend group or whatever. And so for them to see each other. And then about 9:15, we, get everybody together and Nelson kind of kicks things off and usually has, something he likes to, kind of talk about. I thought he did a great job this year.
Totally.
Talking about just marriage and, the transfer portal, the NIL kind of idea of marriage and how it is,
Yeah, it's easy to transfer. Like when you don't like what you see, then it's like,
I'm out.
I'm out.
And I think for a lot of people, that just means disconnect.
Yeah.
For some, like it's unfortunate, but yeah, it's so easy to
It's the drift.
be
Yeah.
so disconnected and not even know you're disconnected. So
Right.
And then we always have worship, and we had a wonderful gal this year lead worship, and then we have four. The kind of format is that we have 4 45-minute sessions from the speaker. So he'll do a first 45 minutes, and then we'll have a light break, and then another 45 minutes, and then we have about an hour and 45, 2-hour lunch break. And during that time, it's been a variety of different things, but this year we did a photo booth and a flower bar, kind of our a wee bit of our standard activity. And then we always kind of try to throw a third thing in there. So this year we had two caricature artists come in and draw the couples, which was fun, although it lasted a little longer than I originally had calculated. So they were very gracious and they stayed and got everybody through, most people that wanted to participate. And then, but in the past we had
Todd Lemansky, is that right? Magician come last year. And that was like super fun. I mean, because sometimes it can get pretty heavy.
Yeah.
We had the charcuterie board.
Oh, I have a story about that.
Oh, what'd you got?
2:00, we were done.
Yeah.
It was, we got into, we got into the branding
family branding
thing.
Yeah.
And trying to come up with the family values was a heavy exercise because we had probably 4 that we could immediately agree on, but then we had some that we weren't thinking were family values. They were just family characteristics.
Yeah.
So she had a couple and I had a couple, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not sure that's a value. And I said that, and it was like,
shut down.
whoops, I shouldn't have said that. But the break at lunch for that, to lighten it back up, and the ability
so
to,
we've done like candle making. We always try to do it like a kind of an activity, during that lunchtime, and then we come back and do another session, and then we usually have about an hour break, and that has historically been more of a hands-on kind of activity.
Just to relax.
Yeah.
Because it is heavy.
That's when we listened to Todd last year. He did a whole 45-minute, magic show, which was incredible. But we've had a charcuterie company come in and do that. We've planted pots. We've made plants. We've I know I'm like blanking on.
That's it.
No, yeah. Anyway, but there's that kind of that time there because just trying to keep people engaged, and then the 4th session is after that, and then. I feel really strongly about trying to have something that they can take away that they will put on their mirror in their bathroom or that puts next to their computer, or something like, just a callback. Sure. It's a callback to it that if you see it, you think, okay, that day, you think maybe a conversation that you had, something meaningful about that. So we try to get the individuals to do that. Last year, Nelson had put together a little pamphlet of questions, and we made time for that. And it was a very, I think, meaningful experience for a lot of the couples, so much so that, there was some tears. And to your point earlier, some people leave at different, emotional states, highs, or, oh my gosh, that just, revealed a lot, or, so I think so. Trying to have something like that, and then doing a benediction or a closing this year was different in that we did communion, and that was something on Nelson's heart for a while now, wanting to do that and share communion with each other, and so we ended it that way. Yeah, so excellent. And it ends about 4:30.
Yeah, and then you kind of hope that maybe people stick around, stay at the hotel, or go out to dinner and enjoy that time, right? Decompress, work through things.
Totally. So much so that I put it in the email. I'm like, make a reservation. That's why we do it at a hotel too, to try to get people to stay the night before, stay the Saturday night, just to get away, to make it a meaningful time together. But we know, and this is what I've always said to Nelson too, like the second they hit that threshold going out the door, show's over.
Yeah.
In terms of they're moving on to the next thing, not intentionally like I'm done, but like, okay, where are the kids? Where are we going to go?
To real life.
Back in.
Yep.
Yeah. So kind of taking that time to debrief, to go through maybe that little handout or whatever either we've put together or the speakers put together to have that kind of conversation if it's not too heavy.
Yeah. We will definitely do that next year. Yeah. This year we came back to make homemade pizzas at home and I was completely fried.
Yeah.
And I was not in a good space for that. Even if it was family time, right? Like it was just too much.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, it's usually the speakers have so much information and it's all good.
Yeah.
And you're drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
And it is. And this year's was a little bit more heavy when you had the family branding, which was excellent.
It was.
But that was more content and more work that we hadn't had in the past. And so, it's one of the unique things about the day is we're kind of like, there's an agenda, but as you could tell, we're building it as we're flying it a lot there. And the way it ended for us this year was you didn't have that one last little bit of time to connect. We're almost like, get out. Yeah. That wasn't the intention, but it was a hard wrap up this year for us because that time, I think, to put a little like cross your T and dot your I at the end of the day, it's just, okay, we're good. So come back next year.
Well, we've even contemplated different formats, right? Like we kind of talked about that a little bit with Jacob and Janae on, is there a different format that wouldn't have people so, kind of zoning out at that, 2 o'clock.
I felt like that was more me than everyone. I just introvert.
Yeah.
I'm the introvert.
And
I hit that
Yeah, it's a long.
that point
it's a
in the
long day.
afternoon where I'm like, I'm good. It's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm just struggling to focus.
Yeah.
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 I
It's
think
trying to find
conferences
that
like that, you can
balance.
a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with creating the value, for the attendance,
Yeah.
but not making it into 5:30 or you're like, okay, we've lost everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do love that it's a one-day conference, and I've heard that over and over and over again because it is so hard to get away. But you can do one day. You can do one day, and it makes the financial investment less steep.
Yeah.
And
Right.
there's just a lot of good,
barriers of
good
entry.
things about that.
Yeah, and we have a lot to cover, so we'll kind of maybe move on from this. But the value is there too, because for the price that you pay for going
So
and
good.
what you get, and then the experiences that you have, I can't go on a date and have that kind of fun, get that much out of it and whatnot, and do it at that value. So, I think you're in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Good. Thank
and
you.
I would not propose many significant changes from what we experienced, but that's up to us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk more about the attendees. And then I've got several questions around marriage protection and then couples going through a rough season. So we'll just go until we can't anymore. But we observed a couple there that was near us who was not happy. Like, it was silent treatment. She was doing all the work. He was sitting there playing on his phone. And he was like, and I'm not criticizing, right? There's no bones for, because he was there. And he was listening, and he, was with her, you know what I mean? Like, they were together. It wasn't as maybe as impactful as I think it would have been, but C.S. Lewis is talking about in Mere Christianity, you don't know the heart of the person who's there. Like, somebody may be in the front of the church with their hands up praising, and somebody may barely darken the door of the sanctuary, sit in the back and leave before the thing is over. And what the person in the back did for their spiritual condition versus the spiritual person in the front, we'll never know.
Right.
Totally.
So, but like, what happens when you see people don't get along? That's the question I have. Like, I'm sure you've seen all of it, right? So what happens when somebody doesn't get along when they're there, and who needs to be there? But there's two different questions.
I think I answer the easy one first. I think it's for everybody.
I agree.
I mean, I really don't, I think if you're in all happiness, great. If you're struggling, I mean, literally we have, the gamut that's there. So I really don't think there's like a specific qualification that you have to be, just that you're married, that you
You don't have to be married. We had a couple there that was not married.
That's true.
So like
they're dating.
premarital too.
Yeah, premarital. For sure. We've had a number of those. But as far as like, that is where I get that my personality is, oh my gosh, what did I not do? What's not happening, that they're not enjoying it. And I think after 5 years of this, I have to say that's not on me.
Yeah.
That's on that individual.
Yeah.
That's awesome that they're in the room, that either they value their spouse enough that they said yes to attending. So I have to honor that first, that they're there, maybe feet in dragging, kind of experience, but that they're there. But I can't take ownership of how people are going to receive the message. And that, that is hard. And again, that's that level of responsibility of we bring the people, we bring the speaker, what's the speaker going to say, is it going to be good? Is it not? And again, that's where my trust in the Lord over the last 5 years has been like, Amy, he's always delivered, Have there been some uncomfortable situations? Yes, maybe. But I think in the end, I think everybody knows our heart in doing this. And so, the good that comes from that. But I mean, it makes me sad, because I'm like, oh, I wish they were really a part of this. It makes me sad for their spouse that may want them to open up and hear. But
yeah, I mean, we're just married. We're not qualified to, we're not marriage counselors. We're not therapists. I mean, we're just doing this because this is good for us and we want to provide it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dallas Jenkins, the creator of The Chosen, heard a podcast with him, and he just talked about his life and some of the things and what was really pivotal when The Chosen came. And he talks about just praying. He's like, he was trying to take control of everything, and he heard the Lord say, he's like, your job's not to feed the 5,000, pal.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just here to bring the 5 and 2. And
Yeah.
like, I just love that. And I think we're just trying our best to bring the 5 and 2 and just see how he can work. And I mean, we've had couples that have gotten divorced after it too,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
it's not a silver bullet
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
at all. You know, it's
Yeah.
just an opportunity to reconnect and give you tools and resources to go through this chaotic, hard life with something, one good day
Yeah.
that maybe is a spark for something that can be generational for
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
So
I think that's beautifully said. It's also said that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. What does that mean in a marriage? And we can keep on the marriage conference track if we like, or if we can branch out a little bit, right? I was really impressed at this particular event with the amount of tools that were given by the speaker.
Yeah.
It was the P's, right? You have your place and you have your purpose and you have all these things. And I spent a solid week afterwards just talking about our place, where we see ourselves, what we see or whatever, and our purpose around certain things. I have a get her done list now.
You're searching for peace in
Yeah,
that, huh?
yeah,
Peace
yeah.
index.
Your peace indexes.
yeah,
Yeah.
really, really looking and having that tool was very beneficial, right? So just as you think about the work, the parallels of attending a conference like that or investing in your marriage, like what does that mean to you? An ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure.
I think it's gold. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that, being preventative and being intentional, we know how 50% or whatever your quote
The statistics.
ends. So if you don't want to be, maybe a part of that, what are ways that you can prevent that from happening? And so being intentional about either seeking out conferences such as this or, listening to podcasts or, reading books or, doing things, finding backup singers that you admire their marriage, you admire their relationship and seek counsel from them. But yeah, I mean,
I think that's just 100% of it is like having a mindset. It's that whole decide or drift, like being intentional with how you're spending your time to invest. I don't know if I'd say just prevention. It's just the more that you're focused on doing something that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Skip that.
let's-
Edit that part.
No.
Super profound, Nelson.
Let's go back to the let's go back to the
I think that's a good point though. Like it's very easy to just get comfortable or get lazy and drift to just, it's easy to ignore your marriage. There's so much going on with kids. There's so much going on at work. There's just,
let's go deep there. Like you all in the 5 years of experience you've had here and, just general observations because these things are important to you. You've had the opportunity to observe many couples and things that they are ignoring in their marriage, right? So what, and Carissa's made several examples here. Like what are those things that couples tend to ignore that generally maybe later tend to become major issues? Yeah.
I think time. I think ignoring time together becomes an issue in whatever we want. I mean, like our friction points at home, or maybe how, like organizing the home or how I put dishes in the dishwasher. It's all the little things, right? It's not usually the big stuff, I think, for the most part. And I think unless you're intentional with the time with each other, that's why date night it's critical. Just getting time and knowing that you're putting that on the calendar. I think that's one of the best investments that some people do. And we ignore it all the time.
Yeah.
We let busyness create a distraction, and where it's the first thing to go off the list. It's like, we just make excuses.
Yeah.
And it's a just daily rhythm. I mean, it's like when I don't get up in the morning and I don't my devotional or I don't spend time on the word, I do that over time and I'm a different guy.
Yeah.
And when I do it, I'm a different guy.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, so putting in the work and that is huge for me personally.
Yeah.
When we're in friction, my brother gave me this advice, like, hey, you know, when I'm not doing well with my wife, he's like, I make her coffee. I don't do that all the time. But like, it's the act of service and gratitude.
Yeah.
It just changes your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think all of our friction is based out of my selfishness and what I want out of the marriage and what she's not giving me, and probably the same for her. So like when you change your mind in it and you have a decision with it, and that's date night is just that constant reset, trying to come together for us. So that'd be my answer.
Yeah. Something to add, Amy?
Yeah, I would just kind of putting the importance away from the spouse, like the focus. I know I keep talking about that, but I think that having that, without that causes that drift. Other things, kind of the shiny things, catch your eye, and that can be dangerous over time. I think resentment, and I'm sure resentment about things you're trying to get us to say specifically, but like when not addressing those things can be built up. And I hear that from just friends and, you know, conversations that I have, that I just am like, oh my gosh, I sense a lot of resentment that you're kind of speaking, and that over time can really create a deep wedge that I think sometimes there's not, for some people, they don't feel like there's a bridge to get back over to that other side.
Yeah.
It's been too deep. So, you know, for him, like I'm not a resentment kind of person, but like, I'm not one to talk about things. Like that's just not my personality. And so, whereas, he is more the resentful and will bottle it up.
Oh, baby.
And then just lets that champagne pop, baby.
Louder for the people in the back.
But I do feel like if those things if he didn't pop, while I would love more of a slow pop at times, but I can see how that could become just a complete drift. Like I'm done, like, you know, and not even try to have the reconciliation over those issues. But he's one for talking about the elephant in the room, and you know, he's good at that, where that is not a gift of mine. So the yin and the yang of the marriage. Yes.
Do you have anything to add, babe?
I was just thinking it's just so easy to just say we're fine. So I love the date night thing. That's been a commitment we've made as well, not a weekly thing, but just the intentional choice to check in, so we're fine until we're not fine. And because I
feel like that's sometimes it's harder to come out of those deep wells.
Yeah. Well, and you use the term roommates. Like we can just get so busy that circling each other while we run after
It's
all
like
the
a
other
corporate
things.
relationship. You just doing the task list. Like really just,
That's not the goal. We don't want to be roommates.
Right. So how do you personally prevent resentment from building up?
He makes me coffee.
when I'm making her coffee a lot, she's like, "Uh-oh."
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's some coffee, babe.
Yeah. I've got a few
And
thoughts.
I just drop it on the kitchen floor.
No.
You get my point here? See? We need to talk.
Yeah.
That's the Batman quote.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Lego Batman quote.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know.
I
Lego, but what does he say?
I wish Pal was here.
Oh.
It's Will Arnett.
Yeah. I love that
He's
voice.
hilarious.
Yeah. He does like the Batman
Lego
voice.
Batman? Yeah, I mean, I know the character.
and
I just don't know what you're
he
saying.
says-
I
something?
made you coffee, Jen. I don't know. But he does the whole thing, and I can't do the Batman voice.
Nice. Okay, wait.
I
Go back
think
to your
I-
question.
I like Batman. Let's
How
go there.
how
We
do
can
you
cut that part.
personally prevent resentment from building up? So, I guess I'm kind of going for. Here's like the spirit of the thought. Sometimes I curate these questions because I'm thinking of a particular person. Okay, and there's a particular person I'm thinking of. I see them a lot through different social experiences because it's a small town. I won't go too deep as to whatever, but the way they connect with one another or the way they treat one another is obvious that there's resentment. And it's more so on one person's side of it than the spouse. You can tell. Like if the resentment weren't over here on this one person's side, this person would be all in. You know? So person A is through resentment, maybe
checked out.
intentionally or unintentionally blowing up the peace in their home, and they may not even see it. Right. So I'm looking for some guidance, some example of how people choose the decision instead of the drifting.
Yeah.
You know,
As a person who resents, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it. I'm a scorekeeper, just how I'm built.
Yeah.
And I think there you go. Raise your hand, Chris. that is how marriages come together. I think there's the difference
Oh
there.
yeah, I got to talk about it.
Yeah.
We can't not talk about it.
Yeah. And so I think as the person who's the one that builds it up, it's not about you. And the quicker you can get over, like, this is not about you, and you get over that and you start making it more external, that's the fastest I get over my resentment.
Yeah.
And just remembering it. And I struggle with that a lot of times because it's so easy in your mind to just have this unhealthy reel. I think he plants that. And so I think when you can change it and find and be grateful for your spouse, even though they may not be perfect, they aren't, and they're not doing what you want, or it's not fulfilling you the way you think in that perfect marriage that you have in your mind.
Yeah.
It's just like gratitude and joy is, man, it's a cure. I think it's one of the best preventive medicines we got out there is that joy. You know, Jeremy talked about the peace index, and I love that. I mean, sounds like you dive into it, and his book is so good. But I think in what we have right now with social media, with just all the busyness of our world, our country, chaos is here.
Yeah.
And it's not going anywhere. And being able to find deep-rooted peace, it's something I think we should just be pursuing just so hard. And sometimes there's a spouse who can have better peace and finds it easier.
Yeah.
And that's the part, is sharing that and just being, it's not about me.
Yeah.
But I
It's
think,
so hard to say though.
yeah. And on the flip side, like, knowing that about your spouse, like, I know that about him, and, you know, I'm not perfect at it. I mean, hence the resentment, but I think having a heart of wanting to, you know, I know things about him that I want to do at the home that create a sense of peace, that I want to bless them in that way. And so I think having, you know, the again, going back to the pride or the selfishness or selflessness, piece is so important to be able to bless that other person. Back to the Chapman, I think the 5 love languages is just so profound, and I think it is so interesting how so many couples don't have the same love language. Hence, probably why you're together. You know, the yin and the yang. But if you can't speak, or first, if you don't even know what your spouse's love language is, then I think that can create a lot of resentment. And then if you know it and aren't able to speak it, then, you know, that to me is more of a selfish component. And Nelson's probably looking at me like, you know what mine is, and yet you still. But it's not natural.
Yeah,
you know, there are
yeah.
things that aren't necessarily natural. He's an acts of service and physical touch, and I'm quality time. And so, as you fist bump across the table, but you know, so acts of that's not how I feel loved. So it's hard for me to do that because it doesn't fulfill me. But that isn't what I should focus on. My focus is fulfilling. My desire should be to fulfill him, and then vice versa. I think, you know, when I'm able to do that, his cup is full, and then he's able to overflow that on back to me. So it's kind of that give and take. But if you don't know and you're not willing to learn your person's love language, then I mean, that's hard.
Yeah.
This is kind of just in the same vein of what you were just saying, but being a student of your spouse is so important. You are, Chris, you are so good at this. You'll say something that you know about me, or that you've observed, or that you're learning about that I didn't even know I was doing, or didn't know it was a thing. And that continual just growing together instead of growing apart is so important, because we change.
Yeah.
And
Tim Keller has a book called The Meaning of Marriage, and it's a
So
little
good.
thick, but we did it as a life group, and it had a video with it, and it was really good. And one of the things he talks about is that you're going to be married to, you know, 10 different people, essentially, like that you're, by the time when we were early married to when you start having kids to when your careers, we're not there yet, but empty nesters, what that's going to look like, and how those people, how you change as people, and being able to change together, because you often hear people just grew apart, and sure, but there's got to be a reason a little bit for that.
Yeah.
So
I think you would say they drifted apart.
drifted,
no?
yes.
Drifted.
If we keep using that word, yes.
Yeah. So rapid fire recommended resources for marriage protection: books, conferences, fellowship, accountability. Like you dropped a couple dimes with the books and whatnot. Any other things just quickly that would help people have some accountability with one another in these things?
Yeah, I think Ted Cunningham's Fun Loving You is really good. Has a ton of practical things in there. Talks about just a lot of great things. Tim Keller's book is good.
Yeah. Gary Chapman, 5 Love Languages.
That's a staple
Matrimony
too.
Everyday Conference.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
No, okay, so real quick, going back to the Fun Loving You, and we talk about this at I don't know, we didn't really do it this year, but we do it usually every year. In that book, he talks about the DD,
the WW, and the AA. Yeah, the daily delay. Every day you need to look each other in the eyes and just connect. Doesn't have to be big.
like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, just like, hey, how you doing?
Tap,
Just,
a good attaboy,
Yeah,
on the
that's
old
right, yeah.
tiny.
and then we can go into that more, the attaboys. But then, so the weekly withdrawal, date night, and then the AA is annual abandon. Once a year, get away. 24 hours, do it.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
We are good. We've got that figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. And that's what matrimony is designed to be too, is just like make that your annual abandon. And I think a lot of people do. That's why we try to have it at the hotel. I mean, just like the spirit of what Jacob and Janae has created is so unreasonable, but so necessary. And I think that's important for it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's, we got about 15 minutes left or so, I think. What would you say to, I'd like to talk to the couples in a rough season now. What would you say to a couple who feels disconnected or is quietly contemplating divorce? Like, again, application here, the statistics would say that the majority of people in this town, right, that we see every day at the school, at our place of work, right, just coming and going, are going to get divorced. And that breaks my heart. You know what I mean? So I'm just think about your answer and don't just anecdotally send it out there, right? Think about like the people in your community. Like, what would you say to a couple who feels disconnected or is quietly contemplating divorce in Lawson?
I think this is a tough question because I don't know if I'm qualified to actually give a good answer. And I might actually change that. I mean, if they're isolated and not doing community, but there's got to be people in their life that's sniffing it out.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have mentioned the one just now is like something just doesn't feel right with that couple.
Yeah.
I think that's somewhat of our job, is to lean in a little bit and to have the courage to be like, you okay? Checking in. And so I don't know. I think the first, if I was to give an answer, I don't know if this is right or not, is just ask for help and just be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean a solution is going to come from it, but it's like things aren't great for me right now. The whole, how you doing? I'm fine. That's BS. We all do it because we don't want to go a little deeper.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that people need to be like, it's not fine.
Right.
And it's okay. You're still human. People love you, all the things. So I think not feeling like you have to have the weight of the world on your shoulders is, people need to let that go a little bit. Yeah. Because this is a hard life.
Yeah.
That might be my sense. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I mean, we talked about this earlier to a degree that, this people think therapy or whatever you want to call it is like negative. You go to a marriage retreat. Oh, is everything okay? I think it's so interesting that, to Nelson's point earlier, like he goes and does continuing eds. I mean, he's legally, he has to do that as a dentist. He went to school, he did the things, but yet he still has to get education on the nuances of the changes of technology or whatever practices. I mean, most of us have done some type of sport in our life, and who led us in that sport was a coach, right? And so I think just changing the mindset of, this is not natural to agree, to be in relationship this close with somebody for this long without thinking you're not going to have problems.
Right.
And so who better than somebody that has more wisdom, that has more, experience, that has, a degree to, in knowing how to relationally handle situations to get support from. And so changing the mindset of like, I'm not going to a therapist or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to get some coaching, and who doesn't need coaching in their life, right? And if you don't feel like you need coaching, that goes back to the pride and selfish piece, I think. And I really, keep honing on that, but I do feel like that's the root of a lot of problems. And so I think having a willingness to be vulnerable and to say, this isn't how I thought this was going to be. I mean, as somebody said this, you don't marry the person knowing that, hey, we're going to get divorced. I mean, you obviously fell in love with this person, unless you were pushed into it or, you had questions, you didn't act on it. I mean, I think the greatest thing is for a person that is engaged to not get married. Like, I think that's such an act of courage, which some people
You're saying like break it off.
Yeah.
Like I'm engaged. I'm like, we're not getting married.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know that may be crazy for me to say, but I just feel like sometimes people get in the vortex of the wedding and the ceremony and the fun of the reception, and they lose track of, okay, I'm going to be married to this person for the rest of my life. And so
we celebrate the wedding, not the marriage.
without
totally
a doubt.
true.
Yeah. And I love going to ceremonies. We went to a ceremony recently of a Lawson family, and I just loved, we couldn't attend the reception, but like I'm there for I'm there for the ceremony. Like I'm there for the vows, and I'm there for the pastor to like bless and pray over this couple, and to have an audience full of backup singers for these young couples to fight and to just be a rally support for them when especially when things do get hard, like, so kind of remembering what was it that you fell in love with this person, like why did you even, what attracted you to them, and trying to kind of get back to a little bit of that, but through support and help and coaching, I think is the more mature way to approach that.
Yeah, I love that. And appreciate the throwback to, you didn't get married so that you might get divorced. I have not met a single divorced person who is not, I don't want to call it glad that they got divorced, but who doesn't recognize post-divorce that it was
Really difficult.
bad.
Yeah.
Like they wish it would have worked out.
Oh,
they
totally.
wish it would be whatever. And like I said, people get divorced for legitimate reasons all the
Totally.
time.
Yeah.
But there are many selfish and prideful reasons, and they wish they had figured those out, right?
Yeah.
Like far more people wish they didn't get divorced than post-divorce wish they didn't.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
Every
well,
time you guys talk about backup singers, I just think we have had so much support just
In our
all the way
marriage?
through our marriage. Yes.
Yeah.
And we've always had, either people in the same stage that were kind of singing the same song as we were, that were supportive, or always just mentors in our lives, and just so much support.
Yeah.
I think that's a great answer to say, ask for help.
Yeah.
None of us are doing this without help, without support.
Yeah.
And I think we feel super blessed. We both come from families of non-divorced parents. And so we've seen it. And so you asked earlier, like, what was your expectation? Our expectation was to stay married, and that's just what we've seen. You only know what you know, and that's what we know. But I mean, we've similar, like Dale Stark. I mean, spending time with him as a high school kid, seeing how he talked about date nights with Connie. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Yeah. And I'm like, that guy's got it right.
Yeah.
Just like having mentors like that are just living life the right way, raising good kids, and just like it's modeled, and not everybody is fortunate enough to have that model. I think that's needs to be recognized, and that's what I want our marriage to be like. Is like, we do not have it right. We have a lot of struggles. There's a lot of hardships here. It's hard, but we want to do it, and like we find joy in it, and it's okay to tell you like, we're not the best at it, but we're doing our best, and we're finding joy in it.
Yeah.
So I think,
and we want for our kids, we want a marriage that is that they want to have, that is
Worth repeating.
replicable, worth repeating. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is worth repeating. And along that same vein as backup singers, he also talked about how there's people in your life that that suck that out of you. They're not backup singers. They're actually people that try to, speak poorly about your spouse, or they try to, help you drift in other ways. And so being, having recognition on I need to remove those people, or I need to stand up to those people and say, you may not like my spouse, but he is my spouse or she is my spouse, and I can't let you speak that way, or friendship terminated or whatever. But I think you've got to protect your marriage over those kind of things, whether it's family members that don't speak highly, in-laws, those kind of things. And those are hard conversations to have, but I think those little things will totally drip, and then questions and doubt starts to set in. And so finding people that want to champion your marriage.
Yeah. And, just I'm sitting here thinking about the backup singers and the folks that you're encouraging to reach out for help. And then I'm also thinking about kind of the symbols too of it, not symbols, the significance of each of your comments. I'm feeling some conviction. Like if I see a marriage that's in trouble, like there's nobody saying I can't go ask about it.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Like, hey, how are things going with you and your wife? You know what I mean? And now naturally as a dude, I would ask I wouldn't ask a
woman.
woman,
Yeah.
how are things with you and your husband?
Yeah.
That's
Probably
not,
wise.
That might get creepy. I
not
can see that
okay.
yeah.
Not okay.
No, but especially a man. I mean, like,
I think totally. I think men are the first ones to be like the old ball and chain. Like, and I've had to separate myself from some groups that I'm like, I don't want to do that,
Right.
and so I don't want to hear it, and so I've had to remove myself to put myself in the right position, and that's kind of hard. It's awkward, but I know that's not generational talk. You know, like I don't want to do that. And that one just element of, I can put negative thoughts in my own head. I don't need your help.
Right.
Yeah.
So like just creating good boundaries for yourself is,
Right.
guys are the influential, like being a leader of the home, and that just starts with like you as a man putting boundaries on what you want your marriage to be like. I think it starts with us a lot.
Yeah. Okay. What is one small step a struggling couple can take this week? One small step. Rapid fire it, because we got to go.
I mean, I'm going to go on my knife here of dying on it. Date night.
Date night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Connect. Date
Yeah.
night,
Connect. Just making coffee.
Yep. Anything? Amy?
I think just being honest with yourself and realizing that if there is a problem, that having that honesty enough to have the conversation.
Acknowledge it.
Thank you. That was the word. Acknowledging it, voicing it in a way that, in a loving way, hey, I'm not feeling like we're at 100%, or we're not gelling, or, coming to it with a humble attitude, not a blame. I'm not blaming you, and I don't need you to blame me, but like, how can we do this together? How are you feeling? Are you feeling this? Are you sensing this?
I love that. Anything?
No, I would probably just double down. Like, who doesn't want to hear, hey, I love you. I want to spend more time with you. I want to be intentional about taking care of us.
Yeah.
Yep. I think just physical touch too. Not well.
Listen. I'm an introvert
Is that
who's
bad?
not a physical touch, and I have a physical touch husband
No.
and 4 physical touch children who 2 of them are also extroverts. So, I do the best I can.
Not that far, but like
Just
just a
kidding.
hug. Sometimes I think someone once said like it's really
I'm all
hard.
about hugs.
It's really hard to not
away.
love someone or enjoy someone that you just hug. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell the story a lot, but like last year, coming from the marriage conference from Springfield to Kansas City last year, she and I sat in the car.
Well, first we didn't talk
We didn't talk the whole way.
from Springfield to Kansas
There was a
City.
trigger that happened that
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Can tell you it was super
Now.
meaningful, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk. But we did hold hands for 2 hours, and it was sweaty palms there. But
Just
like I love you, and like this is hard or whatever this is, but like we're gonna be fine. And sometimes that hug, that touch, that whatever says enough of like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to get better, but I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can I build on that a little
Sure.
bit? And because I have had the same thought and would echo the same thought. And I would say from the Chapman 5 love languages, find a simple thing within each one. And if you know what your spouse's love language is, you can do that. If they're a gifts person, consider a flower. If they're a words of affirmation person, consider a small compliment. If they're a physical touch person, consider a hug. If they're an acts of service person, consider unloading the dishwasher. You know what I mean? Like,
Correctly.
Just kidding. No, see, that's the problem.
right.
Yes.
but it's also true.
Stop.
So we
I'm just
we have
saying
a
when I can't find something.
hard stop in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're struggling down here. 2 quick questions. What does a healthy apology look like? You can say it however you want. Like, what does a healthy apology look like?
This has been hard for me. I'm not, my parents, I love my parents and they were just absolutely incredible, but they never fought publicly, except for one time. And I cried in my bed because I thought my parents were getting divorced.
Yes.
So you know, again, if you know people's story, then you have a lot of understanding. So that's kind of my story. And so I don't fight well. I don't fight. Like I shut down. And so I think just I've learned over 21 years that sorry goes a long way. And it's hard for me to say that. Not because it's not in my heart, but like just to verbally, it's like I say it in my head like 1,600 times and I'm like, just say it. Just say it to him. And so sometimes I'll write it. Like it's easier to write because then I can get all of my thoughts out without having to be like him coming back or whatnot. But I feel like in the last year, you may disagree, but I've been better about just, you know what, I messed up and I'm sorry. And, you know, I don't know why it's hard for me to do that because I think I say sorry, but yet my behavior still happens sometimes, not again intentionally, but absent-mindedly. And I feel like sometimes if I say I'm sorry, then it's like, okay, then I can never do it again. But then I did it again, you know? And so I think I'm sorry is like a repetitive and not because you're not changing your behavior, but like there is a deep-rooted sorry. I don't know. Is that making sense?
Did someone ever tell you that if you can't say you're sorry if you don't change your behavior?
Yeah.
Or what is that?
It's almost like sin.
It's
repentance,
You know, like,
Repentance there.
yeah.
You're not sorry. Yeah. I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe that's like, if you were sorry, then you wouldn't do it again. You're like, oh, well, I mean, I'm human and I make mistakes.
Yep.
And so I don't remember what.
Anything to add, Nelson?
Sorry's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a perfect way. I mean, like sometimes
Just
I'm like
doing it.
just doing it, like because I can say like I messed up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and then I feel like we're good, you know. And so like it's definitely harder for her, and I think opening the space up, and it's probably gotten easier for her because I'm allow it
Yeah.
more. I want it, but I also know like I don't make it easy for her to say I'm sorry too. So trying to be ready for that, and open and give it the space.
Very good. Last question. If you had 5 minutes with every married couple in Lawson, what would you tell them? And you got 5 minutes to do it, but like I think we've covered a lot of this. So like, what's the biggest piece of advice you'd give to every married couple, just based on our conversation or based on your experience?
I say don't forget to have fun together. I think, again, going back to you fell in love with this person for a reason. There's elements about them that deep down, you know, with all the chaos and craziness of life that are still there.
Yeah. Remember.
And
That's a good one.
And just, you know, the picture on the front of that book, Fun Loving You, is a couple on a trampoline. You know, just like the joy and the openness and the freeness of that. And I think a lot of times we don't allow ourselves to get that because you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to make these, you know, feed these little people and do this and whatnot. But just the joy and the fun that is, we believe, comes from this is what has been our experience. And that's kind of why we do what we do. We do have a passion for marriage because we want that for other people so deeply because it's been so great for us. But I mean, that may sound trite in terms of just have fun together, but I think being intentional
Like
about
joy.
that.
I mean,
yeah.
it's not something that's espoused. I was just like, yeah. So I think that's good.
Anything to add?
No, I mean, I think we've touched a lot of things,
Yeah.
but I think being intentional and just like, who do you want to be? Do you want to be bitter or do you want to have fun? And it's okay. Like bitterness is just, it's rampant in our world. And just don't do that. You don't need to be that way. It's okay to be joyful.
Yep.
Have fun. And yeah, I mean, you've been given a gift of a best friend. You just have to see it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we can see that your marriage is not perfect and strong. And that is wonderful. And I really appreciate you guys being here. One quick plug, shameless self-promotion for Matrimony every day. When is your next event?
February.
February 20th, 2027.
February 20th, 2027.
We
And
have,
how do people sign up and get, and is this an open
Do
to
you guys
the
have a
dingers?
Facebook page?
By
There's a
invitation?
website.
There's a
Yeah.
website.
Yeah, it's a matrimonieveryday.com /Kansas City. But
Okay.
go to either one. Like they're both the same but different. We have our
Well, it's one website.
One
and
website,
then,
yeah.
And then there's the two events, obviously, but the one website, and then you go to the tickets, and they won't probably open up until like October, but we will be
Put it on your calendar.
Yeah, put it on your calendar for sure. Save the date for sure. February 20th. TBD on location. So we're working on that.
But
right
in
now.
Kansas
next
City
year's
area.
speaker.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Springfield's is always the first weekend in February. So if you want a true getaway, then head down to Springfield for that. We have some couples that that had historically come to ours, but they love going to Springfield for that complete getaway. And then ours is usually the third week of February, that third weekend, that Saturday. So we do have our speaker already lined up, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your the behind the scenes look into your conference,
Yes.
into your marriage, into this conversation with you. It's been awesome.
It's been fun.
Yeah, so glad
Well,
that we
thank
could
you for
have a double
highlighting
date.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
and thank you
with
for your vision. You know, like I love that. Like that you're planting a seed for someone else.
You bet. I
think it's-
really appreciate all of these things. So
Yes.
anyway, with that, we'll leave it there. This has been the Son of the Law podcast. Have a great night, everybody.